This is Dan from Blue Dog Farms, head cowologist. And I'm in the barn today because currently I'm feeding my cattle outside. And when you feed them outside and just throw the hay on the ground, they waste a lot of it. As Heathcliff can tell you, Heathcliff the goat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear out these 3 stalls. And I'm going to put a feeder up against the wall. Right there, and then eventually I'll take 3 or so boards off of the floor above where I keep the hay in the loft, so I can just throw hay down into the feeder from above. Now I already tore out the partition for one wall and built a feeder along that back wall, and I put a bucket rack on the other wall so that I could feed bottle calves there. But I don't do bottle calves anymore, so this will just be where I feed in the winter until spring, and I can get them back out on the grass. These boards here, I think they're oak, most of them, and they're like 5/4 boards, or maybe even thicker than that. They're really thick and really hard. I'm going to use those for the front of the feeder. I've got plenty of them here, and the doors I'm just going to put somewhere in case I need a door for something somewhere. I don't know, maybe I can cut the 2x6s off the top and use 2 of them for a gate. I don't know if they're wide enough. But anyway, I'm just going to set the doors aside. I'm going to reuse the thick wood boards from the partition in the front. For the front of the feeder, I've got some new 2x4s and 4x4 lumber. Let's get started. So now this faucet here can't stay here because this is going to be in with part of the area where the cow feeder is going to be, so I've got to move it so the cows don't break it, rub on it, knock it over, have a flood. It's going to go clear over there by the door. So all of that junk that's been accumulating there has to move, and I'll dig a trench from this existing faucet over to by the door, lay in a line and set up. I've got a another faucet that I'm going to put in that's kind of in better shape. So we need to move all this junk out of the way. Hope the chickens don't mind. So, unfortunately, the canopy's too high and it won't come in. So I'm going to have to go to plan B. Alright, problem solved. It's now a convertible excavator. Top's over there. I don't like running without a lid, especially if you're outside, but it's the only way I'm going to get in the house or in the barn here. So here we go. Okay, so I broke this with a sledgehammer, and I broke whatever is, I broke something down there, and water started coming out, so I ran to the house and turned off the water to the barn so it didn't make a huge mess. So we're going to take this out and see if I can find the hose and that, or the pipe or whatever it is that it connects to get water, and we'll go ahead and dig our ditch. Alright, so I went ahead and put together this connection here off camera because it's so cold I just forgot about it. Basically on the left here is coming from ABS, that black plastic pipe, and so I've got it on a hose bib into this PVC, and then it comes out of this other side here. It's gray, this gray stuff that you can't get anymore and you can't buy fittings for, and it fails all the time, especially the fittings, but it's buried and goes under the foundation. So I'll probably replace it in a couple of years when I do a concrete water trough outside, which is where this goes, but I'm not going to do it right now. It's below zero outside with the wind chill, and I need to get this done pretty quick. So I've got this offset here to run to the 1/2 inch black pipe that's going down to the other end. And when I do these pipe fittings, not the PVC, that's all cemented together, but when I do the pipe fittings, or the hose fittings, the black pipe fittings, and even this gray stuff, I used a 3/4 inch nipple and just heated the pipe up with a map gas torch. You have to be careful and not get it too hot, but that way it'll allow the plastic to expand and go over the bib and kind of squish in. You know, the warm plastic squishes around the barbs, and I put pipe dope on it, and this is really the only way I found to keep that gray stuff from leaking. And I do the same with the ABS. So I'm going to do an ABS right now. The water's leaking out a little bit there, but I'm going to do the ABS right now with some heat, and I'll show you how I do it. And when we get the faucet put on the other end, we'll water pressure test it and make sure everything doesn't leak before I bury this. So let's get going. Alright, so I went to put this together and discovered that what I thought was a bushing that I had in stock is actually going from 3/4 to 1/2 inch for my plastic ABS fitting. That's not actually a 3/4 pipe thread, that's a garden hose thread to 1/2 inch pipe thread. So to make it so I didn't have to go back to the store, I found this bell from 3/4 to 1/2 inch female and a close couple. Now everything's brass. The street L is brass, and the bell and the nipple's brass, because if you use just regular black pipe or even galvanized pipe down here at the bottom of this, black pipe, it'll just rust, and every time you turn the faucet on, rust will come out first. And if you do galvanized, it'll wait a month before rust starts coming out every time you turn the faucet on. So now when I do these, I always use brass. So we'll put these on and see if we can get that plumbed on to the 1/2 inch line and turn the water on and make sure it doesn't leak. So we've got water coming out of the faucet. What I'm going to look for now is leaks before I bury this. And believe it or not, I have a leak. As tight as that is and as much goop is in there, I'm not really sure. Maybe I over and tightened it. But gotta fix that before I can bury it, obviously. So let's go down our ditch, look at the other side. Everything looks okay. I don't see any water coming out of my line. I do see water coming out of the hole where the pipe goes back in. You probably can't see it on the camera. So I'm going to go turn the water off and relieve the pressure and see if it quits. If it quits, I've got a problem. If it doesn't quit, it's just running out from before. So we'll take a look. Low temperature. Try that again. Low temperature, cannot access hard disk drive. Yeah, it's gotten too cold for my camera. So I'm back from the store. And I got new parts. I got a new faucet since that other one's leaking and it doesn't want to shut off properly. I just went ahead and got a new one. I'll save that one and see if I can repair it. If not, I'll just use it for parts. But I got a new elbow for the bottom, and I got a new bushing, and I got a new fitting. And I'll just cut the pipe and put this new fitting in. My problem now is that it's single digits. And the wind's died down now, but earlier, the last hour, while I was eating supper, it was like 10 below with wind chill. And my pipe, I'm certain, is frozen in the ditch. So doing a pressure test at this point isn't going to work, and it's not going to thaw out for about 4 days. And I can't drag this out for 4 days. So I'm a little bit of a conundrum. Our problem down here, I turned the water off and it's still running. I believe it's just groundwater coming out. If not, I guess I'll be digging it up next year when it's a soupy mess in here. But I mean, it's coming from underneath the building, which underneath the cement floor. So that it's really going to mean a whole new water line coming up here. That's just not going to happen right now. So I'm going to put together the new faucet. I'm going to splice it in down here at the end, and I'm going to cover it up. I'll turn the water on to see if there's anything blowing out anywhere, but with this black pipe full of water and frozen, I don't think it's going to come out anywhere up here. But I need water up here at the barn. So I'm going to put it together and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the ditch. Not really much else I can do at these kind of temperatures. So let's get going. Alright, so I got the new faucet put on. I got the rock stacked up around it and covered up. So I'm ready to put dirt in the hole, and I won't completely cover it up, or either I'll have to dig it back out to pour concrete around it just to keep it steady. Concrete has to go on top of the fabric so that the water can drain out into the group of rocks just fine. All of my cameras froze and so they're inside plugged in, warming up, hoping I can get the camera back out here to video filling in this ditch. But I'm going to start the excavator and the skid steer and get them warming up, and then I'll go see if I can get the cameras to work. Otherwise, I'll just take a picture after I'm done. Let's get going. So I got it covered up. Got this big pile of dirt left over to grade out, but it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm kind of done for the day. But the hose is covered up with a pipe. This faucet won't turn on. Well, I mean, it'll turn on, but the pipe's frozen to that. Be interesting to see if it's thawed out in the morning. I'm not holding my breath. So I'm going to walk around here, shut off the other faucet. It's been running all this time. Happy the skid steer started. It needs batteries. Anyway, I'm going to finish the building of the feeders and grading out the rest of that. I got to push out a little bit of manure. I'm going to finish that in a different video. Water's running, so that's good. Shut this one off. This is Dan. Blue Dog Farms, head killologist out here in the dark, below zero wind chill. I'm going to go inside and get warm. But you have a blessed day.